There's a story out there that's rarely told, a tale not found in churches, and few have the guts to read it all. It's a story so unsettling that if it were told without any filters, it would completely change the way millions of people understand faith, sin, and forgiveness. What if I told you that the Bible hides accounts that were silenced, not because they were false, but because they were just too human? Today, I'm going to tell you one of those stories. A lost story. A real story. And a story that, if you listen to it until the very end, will not leave you the same. This story wasn't found in a pulpit. It wasn't read during a Sunday service. It was discovered in fragments hidden among ancient texts, rabbinic commentaries, and apocryphal manuscripts that survived dust, fire. Ancient scribes whispered about it in hushed tones, sharing secrets that intrigued all. They said this story was too real for people because it showed that even the chosen ones can stumble, and fall lower than we could ever imagine. This is the story of Elijah ben Azer, a name that has been almost entirely erased from sacred memory. Elijah ben Azer was not an ordinary man. From a very young age, he claimed to hear the voice of God clearly, not in dreams, not in vague visions. He heard it while he was wide awake, like a constant whisper guiding his every move. The people respected him. The elders consulted him. The sick sought his prayers, hoping for a miracle. But there was something that nobody knew. Elijah hated the voice that had chosen him, because every single divine word he received caused him to lose something precious: friendships, rest, love, his own humanity. Until one day, God asked him for something that shattered his spirit. The voice was clear and unwavering. Go down to the valley of Naharim. There you must announce judgment. Now, the valley of Naharim was no ordinary place. It was infamous for its corruption, its violence, its idolatry. But it was also known for something else. Elijah's family lived there, his brother, his own blood, his past. The message he was to deliver was not one of hope. It was a dire warning. And Elijah knew instantly, if he obeyed, he would lose the very people he came from. That night, for the first time in his life, Elijah did something absolutely unforgivable for a prophet. He ran away from God. For days, he wandered aimlessly. He was waiting for the voice to return. He was waiting for punishment. He was waiting for death, but there was nothing. Only silence. Silence so deep, so profound, that it became unbearable. In that quiet, Elijah understood something terrifying. It wasn't God who had abandoned him. It was he who had closed his heart. Cadian, silence, he made the worst decision of his life. In a foreign village, far from the land of Israel, Elijah denied his identity. He denied his calling. He denied his God. He took on another name. He started another life. He walked another path. The ancient texts hint at something that is almost never mentioned. Elijah took part in pagan rituals, the very practices he himself had once condemned so fiercely. He didn't do it out of malice. He did it out of pure exhaustion, out of pain, out of a desperate desire to just be a man, and not an instrument. And then, just when he believed he had escaped his destiny forever, the voice returned. It wasn't a clap of thunder. It wasn't fire from the heavens. It was a single sentence, spoken softly, yet with immense power. I never stopped watching you. Elijah fell to his knees. He wept like he had never wept before, because he finally understood something that would break anyone. God saw him in his sin, in his darkest moment, and still did not destroy him. He was calling him back, not as a prophet, but as a son. But returning would come at a cost. Elijah returned to the valley of Naharim, but this time it wasn't to announce judgment. It was to give himself up for his people. The ancient writings suggest that Elijah took upon himself the collective guilt of the valley, bearing the shame, the rejection, and the punishment that others rightfully deserved. He was expelled from his home. He was beaten. He was forgotten. And he died far from any recognition, without any miracles, without any glory, without any songs sung in his name. He died with only one certainty: God does not seek perfection. He seeks broken hearts that are willing to return. An ancient rabbinic commentary says, "The righteous one is not the one who never falls, but the one who falls and still returns." And in the book of Hosea chapter 6 verse 1, we read a similar sentiment: "He has torn us, but he will heal us. He has struck us down, but he will bind us up." This message echoes through centuries, a quiet truth hidden in plain sight. Perhaps this story was silenced because it shows us our own reflection too clearly, because it reminds us that faith is not always clean and simple, that prophets have doubts, that the chosen can run away, and that God keeps waiting. The real question isn't whether this story happened exactly as I've told it. The real question is, how many times have you also fled from your own calling? And how many times did you believe there was no way back for you? If this story touched you, it's probably not a coincidence. Comment below. Do you think these kinds of stories should be told more often? Share this video with someone who needs to hear that it's never too late to turn back, and subscribe to the channel, because there are still so many more stories that should never have been forgotten.